It's my perspective. No matter your race, no matter your age. On my perspective, don't even worry about your fear. Come on and bring your thoughts. Let's talk about it. What's going on? Let's bring our thoughts together. It's my perspective.
All right. Welcome to My Perspective Mondays. I'm Lisette. Welcome my beautiful cast here. You guys are awesome today. Hey, you know what? We got a great new topic tonight. We know people have been going and doing their little vacation thing and all this stuff for the summer, but we want to know, what do you hate most about flying / traveling? But what do you hate most about flying?
We only have an hour, right?
Yeah.
Only an hour.
Are we talking just
Load a
about
budget on
flying
the
or
top.
about travel? I thought it was about travel in general.
No, it's fine.
/ traveling.
It was basically flying because that's a whole thing in itself. But if Mark wants to add the steamboat, we'll let him add the steamboat.
Well, if you are talking about a whole new set of irritations. If you're talking about traveling by car, or say vacation by cruise ship or something like that. But yeah, flying in and of itself is has enough aggravations. Start with airport parking.
Oh, airport parking.
Just off a plane.
What's wrong with airport parking?
It's
You know what?
expensive. There's not enough of it.
Okay, I thought you were going to say, because I know depending on what airport you're landing in can decide what type of hecticness you're dealing with anything in general. But yeah, it you know what? It really is expensive if you just want to park in those ones where you can't park outside. When you want to park and just pick someone up or wait for someone, it's kind of ridiculous in some places. It is.
It is. And who's watching those? Go ahead.
When you're picking somebody up, there's a lot. There's timing, and you have to. You got to make sure you don't get there too early, because if you're at an arrival point, you can't sit there for very long because the police officers start to hassle you and things like that. So that can be very problematic, as you might guess. But I was really talking more about if you want to go somewhere and you're driving yourself, and you got to go through parking decks or parking lots or catch commuter buses, and that's never cheap and it's never fun. And it seems like the airport that I use the most, RDU. Now, it's not so much this time of year we're talking now, but that is the coldest place on earth when it's cold. Those parking decks are just at 5
like
in the morning, 6 in the
frozen
morning.
tundra.
Oh my goodness.
Well, Mark, the waiting outside thing, that's what I was saying with your airport, because RDU Terminal 1 Southwest, you could park there and sit there for 45 minutes waiting on a plane. But I'm from Miami. You're not sitting in front of the airport for more than 5 to 10 minutes. You're going to get moved along. So which airport it is. Like some airports are a godsend to be connecting, but flying out of, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And what about those creepy parking decks? And it's like creepy down there. It's creepy.
Where it looks like a horror movie in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Or those snatch scenarios where you got to be careful because people like to sit up there and do stuff and then you're never seen again.
And the elevators are nasty.
What airport?
What kind of stuff are you referring to, Jay?
What airport are you talking about, Jay?
It's just the parking lot situation that I'm uncomfortable with, because I forget what movie I was watching, but he trained his dog to make a noise whenever somebody was about to back over it and tricked them into thinking that, oh my God, you hit my dog. And then next thing they know, you get out of the car to go check on this dog and somebody puts a bag over your head and you get kidnapped.
What?
Wow.
Oh, what kind of movie are you watching?
I don't remember the name of it.
It's a Spitzville. I've never heard of that one, but I don't know of that happening in a real parking deck, but I know some movies could frighten you about that. So the whole parking thing that Mark was saying, of course, is ultimately ridiculous, especially if you're there for 2 hours and lose your ticket. God help you. Once you get into there, it's like certain airports, going through security. I don't understand how anybody is not TSA approved or doesn't have clear at this point in their
Absolutely.
life.
Yeah.
One of the other.
Wow.
I have TSA pre-check you're talking about, and every time I go through it, I look over at the regular line and I think,
Oh.
what are they thinking? I guess they hardly ever, they fly so little, they don't think it's worth it. But if you fly once a year, it's worth it, it seems like.
It is, because it's not like you're paying once a month for this thing. It's a guy, especially if you're flying out of somewhere like Atlanta or LAX or Miami.
Miami,
That
Chicago.
security line, especially on a Friday, Monday, or a holiday season, forget it.
Don't forget
Yep.
JFK.
JFK is the worst too. One of the worst.
What
LaGuardia.
about when they cancel the flights? What about when they cancel your flight?
Well,
Don't fly Spirit.
well, duh. If you're flying Spirit and JetBlue, hey, I've done it before when I was in the budget, but I quickly just said I'll pay the extra money to not have the hassle. The cheaper flights usually don't concern themselves with overbooking as much as the ones where you pay a little more money. But Lisette, that thing that you're talking about canceling a flight, I'm pretty sure Mark will agree. Henry, at some point, he'll talk this episode. But it really depends on why it was canceled. I hate the belligerent airline passenger that's going crazy because a flight is canceled for a legitimate reason, like
Weather.
engine problems.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Weather. Yeah.
weather is nothing that you can do about it. Like.
Yeah, and you'll get this
Right.
person that's always screaming, "I gotta get my kids to Michigan." Okay, ma'am, there's a thunderstorm outside and the engine's not working. What would you like us to do?
Exactly.
I think. I learned the hard way, quite frankly, that the only person that you harm by getting your sphincter muscle all tight with something like that is yourself. You just make your blood pressure go up, and you can stand there and yell all you want to, but it's like yelling at a wall. And usually, I've also found that typically when you yell at somebody in an airport, you're always yelling at the wrong person.
Yeah,
I mean, your baggage
Yep.
got left behind, and you're yelling at the person that didn't leave it behind. Okay.
right.
Or you're yelling at the gate agent, and it's because the flight crew timed out and the flight had to be canceled. Well, the gate agent has no control over that. So it's very much a test of patience with airports. But it's something that if you stick around long enough, it's easy to say that. But then when let's say you've had a long flight, a long day, you've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning, and things are going bad, and sometimes your ability to reason, be patient, goes out the window. And I always regret when I do that, but nevertheless, I still do it.
Well, what about those little crop dusters?
Wait, hold on, because I want to stick on this subject a little bit, because I would love for you to be that belligerent flyer, and Jay Turner is the person at the desk.
Oh, I will have a ball.
That would be good.
He's probably got a
That would be
list of
good.
one-liners that long,
Oh my God. And then you know what
Wow.
it's the self-awareness too, that the person sitting there doing the belligerent yelling does not have the self-awareness to know how much of an ass they look like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that-
that's because they're usually like that every other time. They're kind of used to custom.
Mhm.
You know how we call the people the Karens, right?
Exactly.
Let me see the manager. Like, what the fuck? I mean,
On top
of that, you don't
know-
what manager do you
You don't
want
know
to
whether
see
or
out
not I
there?
actually need this job. You don't know whether or not I got time today.
Like
Well, the funny
every
part
time you
is
see somebody losing it,
uh,
every time you see somebody else losing, you think, I'm not like that. When I'm mad, when I'm making an ass of myself, it's for a legitimate reason. You got to step back and say, okay, look, do I look like that when something's going wrong? And you try to learn from that. But sometimes what we try to do, we actually do two different things. But
well, isn't it funny that they see the first four? What about this, Lisette? You see the first four people with you being belligerent and getting nowhere. So your thought is, since I'm the fifth belligerent person, something's going to actually work.
I don't know why you feel that way, because it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. I mean, it's just not. I mean, some people, wow. Oh, wow.
well, the
That's
airport and the airplane, which we haven't gotten to yet, that is not the place where you want to make your stand for a higher cost.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the
I
last
mean,
place you want to do anything stupid.
yeah, I mean that because I mean they're even when the people enforcing the order are in the wrong, or you think they're in the wrong, that's not the place to make that stand because so much depends on absolute order and things not getting out of line, getting out of hand, even when a person has a legitimate grievance. So, you don't make that, let's go back to the dead guy, Martin Luther, making his here I stand moment in an airport or an airplane.
Wow.
What?
I
I
mean, the
totally
people
missed that
doing the
reference.
best they can, you know?
That airplane flew
Wow.
over my head. Well, look, okay. It's almost like when you say don't complain to the waiter before your food comes out, or
For
complain to
sure.
anyone. It's the same thing. You making a stink in your home airport is different than you being in a connecting airport 5,000 miles away and you want to raise a stink. These people still have to get you home.
Yes.
So realize where you are, because if they decide to kick you off the airplane or tell you you're not flying Delta today, now you've made a case worse for yourself, because if anybody here has had to buy a same day ticket, that's not a problem you want to have. Am I wrong?
You're right.
You're not wrong.
I could.
Security is never on your side. If you're a complaining customer, security is never on your side. They never say, okay, let's sort this out. Let's see who's right and who's wrong. And if the gate agent or the pilot is wrong, we're going to take them away. It doesn't work that way.
Yep.
All right, well,
Not at the
can
airport.
Maintain order.
where our motto is, we hope you make it.
What if they just take you and just throw you off the plane? If you was acting ugly,
Well, you
just throw
see,
you off.
that's the one thing they cannot do. There was one time I was flying to Hawaii, and I was drunk as shit. And you know how I got
No.
cursed out.
No.
Oh, they'll put you off the plane, Henry, if you get drunk.
Oh, yeah.
I literally saw a woman when we were in
No,
Baltimore. She got drunk because they offered her a free drink because they had to move her seat, and then they put her off the plane because she got belligerent.
But you see, I got checked when we were like 30,000 feet in the air already. They can't land just to kind of. I mean, they can, but I wasn't that bad yet. Yeah, but of course, people were getting irritated because I was talking too loud, and I was fucking this and saying that, and they were not having it. And yeah, me being me, I was kind of a little bit belligerent, a little bit angry too, for reasons I don't know. Maybe because this guy in front of me just happened to turn around and tell me to shut the fuck up. Maybe I took that the wrong way. I don't know. And then, I mean, I was going ape shit, but like what Mark said, right? Something hit me after, be like, I gotta calm the fuck down, No matter what I do, I'm not gonna win. I need to calm myself down, relax before
I got a question for you, Henry. Henry, when the guy told you to shut the F up, and he said you took it the wrong way, what's the right way to take that?
Yeah, you know what? The right way, maybe my mind was thinking, maybe he could have asked me nicer, like on the first time. If he checked
You would
me
think.
third time and he told me to shut the fuck up, then maybe I'll be like, okay, you're right.
Oh,
You're right.
wait. Were
I
you
fucked up.
saying he was on 10 from the beginning, or did it take you being in a nuisance for him to finally?
Oh no, he was on 10 from the beginning.
Oh, okay. There could be some underlying things with that, maybe because you know what, and it's like we talked about when we talked about the food service. That customer's always right thing. Sometimes I know you're supposed to be a professional at work, but you've had a long day. Maybe you're the fourth drunk guy he had to deal with in 45 minutes, and he's over it.
Yeah.
It's amazing how people want people at their job to have way more patience and tolerance than they have because they're not at work. That's the thing right there.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I would have handled it better if it was one of the staff that was working on the plane instead of a white guy that was happened to be in front of me. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah. But
Wow.
yeah,
I have a bias because my daughter's a flight attendant, so I hear her stories of dealing with drunks, and you're talking about people that are in the airport bar at 6 and 7 a.m. getting drunk already. and they get on the plane and drink on the plane. They get off the plane, go to the airport bar again, drink, go back on the plane, drink again.
It sounds to me like they're just chasing happy hour. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah,
They don't have to get on the plane to do that. They could be on the ground and do that to get drunk.
They
well,
chasing
but
the
yeah,
happy hour.
for some reason, there are people that do that. I don't know. When I walk by an airport bar and looking at 7 a.m. and somebody's drinking already and drinking beer, wine, or a booze, whatever, I think, well, one thing, this person has a problem, and two, I hope they're not on my flight.
Nah.
It could have been.
Well,
Well, he sees Henry. He's like, I hope Henry's not. He knows Henry, and if he sees Henry in the airport drunk, he's gonna be like, God, I hope Henry's not on my.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Does anybody want to exchange seats?
Yeah.
There,
wait,
there
hold
is
on.
no right time to start drinking. Okay, you can only drink at nighttime, man. That's bullshit. If you're happy, drink anytime you want.
Yeah, but when your happiness is infringing on everyone else's happiness, that's a problem.
Or I mean, you have to control it though. You know, like, of course.
What has anyone ever kicked your seat or something, or didn't want you to want to lay their seat all back?
Those
Maybe you
people.
should have a 2-drink limit. I see in the question.
Yeah.
Perhaps so. Perhaps so. That would be a pretty good idea.
I think that's the time that you see if you
Somebody
limit
say
an
somebody's-
alcoholic, and then they will get even more mad. Don't ever
Wow.
limit the alcoholic.
I hate full flights. If someone farts, it's over. Oh my goodness.
There's a couple
I
of
can't
things
imagine that one. If
about
somebody
being in the
farts.
cabin that's annoying, and everybody should say what they're, because we all have annoyances in the cabin. The guy that has to go down to his bare feet as soon as he sits down is annoying.
No,
especially when his
yeah.
feet stink. People when there's more seats open and they know they're a little extra size, but they want to squeeze between you and your friend, that's annoying. But I want everybody to give their most annoying one. My most annoying one is the adorable old couple when loading the plane that won't get out of the way. And I mean, like, one flight, I'm standing there and literally everyone in front of this old couple has sat down. She's sitting in the seat and he's looking through the luggage. He's like, Martha, where's my heart medicine? And she's like, your heart medicine is in the house, Harold. We'll
I
get
don't know, Harry.
Get to Boca. We got to get to Boca and see Dr. Hartman. And I'm like, oh my God, you're adorable, but I want you to get out of the way. Get out of the way.
This is oddly specific. This had to have happened.
It did. They were going back and forth about Harold's heart medicine, and we just want to get on the plane.
Exactly.
And somehow
even
I'm not
get off
surprised the
the
guy's
plane,
name.
too.
I'm not surprised the guy's name was Harry. By the way, it just seemed like that's something
Harold
an
and
old
Moss.
guy named Harry would do.
I think everyone can agree that the one thing that we hate the most is parents who can control the toddler or kid,
Oh my!
or someone with the long hair. They just choose to kind of invade your space. You know, like they will kind of let the hair into your spot. You just like,
Oh, I'll take care of that.
wow.
You trying to say something, Henry? Henry, you trying to say something? You got something
Got
on
it.
your mind? You want to say something?
No.
Oh, I'll mess with her hair.
Wait, Alita, get something in here before you freeze on us. Oh no, I think I missed it. I saw her moving around. She looks like a beautiful picture frame. She's not on here. I'm gonna show y'all what. Look, there you go.
Leia, come on, Leia. Come on.
She looks like a beautiful picture frame, but I think she's frozen again. We're gonna get it right someday. Alita, can you hear us?
I still say we jump her service provider.
Yeah,
For sure.
we gotta jump her service provider. What's something
That's not
inside?
gonna solve the issue.
What's something inside the cabin that gets on your nerves, Lisette?
Well, I don't know about that, but I just can't stand the crop planes, the little bitty munchkin planes, and then you're riding the loom, and all of a sudden, you go, whoop. I said, oh, and then you hear the engine. And so I'm saying, like, well, what if it cuts off? I can't stand
You'll
that.
be fine.
Well, you're fine. You're religious. He got you. You ain't gonna die.
I knew, but I just can't stand that noise
Religious.
in my mind. in my mind, I'm wondering, well, what if it cuts off? Oh, that is
You
so
just
annoying.
reminded me, Lisette. I don't know if it was Robin Harris or John Witherspoon that joke when they were talking about the guy was worried about crashing and one of the riders in the plane, and he's like, "Well, if it's your time to go, it's your time to go." And he's like, "What if it's not my time to go? What if it's the pilot's time to go?"
Exactly. We all going down. We
It
all
was your
going down.
fault being around the pilot.
And that's
It was
what the
their
man
time to
said
go.
on Predator. We all gonna die. The Indian.
It was me.
Oh, you look.
It's
Do
a
you
good thing
remember
I'm
that
on the
time when?
parachute.
Hold up. Do y'all remember that time when the movie? What's that movie that they's up there riding on the plane? I know what it was. It was the Alien. They just had the Marines going in. They knew they were gonna kick some butts up in there. They were riding along. Yeah, we got this. We got this, and all of them died.
Yeah,
Is that Independence Day? Maybe? I don't know.
you comparing plane crash to aliens?
Mark, what just happened? You're the professor, Mark. Can you explain to us what just happened?
I think we had a kind of a mixture of 2 or 3 movies in one little line there. One movie that everybody should see, and Jay's going to love me. I'm going to go back to the 1980s for this one.
Oh,
Is the movie called a movie called Airplane.
Oh,
It was a spoof on disaster. Disaster movies were very popular back in the 70s, especially airline disaster movies. So they made a spoof of them in a 1980s film called Airplane.
classic. And
Did you break your feather duster out for that one?
He froze.
You know what?
He
Let's
froze
say,
at
if you keep carrying on like you carrying on, we're gonna give Clarence more than a 2-drink minimum.
look, you know
Put up
what?
a limit. And we talk about the snack limit. They give you 1 package of pretzels and then say that they got to charge you for anything else.
Wait,
I know it.
not
Oh,
only
you
the
know- you know-
1 pack of pretzels, but that
Go ahead.
little tiny ass drink. Like I'm not a grown man.
Right.
That little-
With a shot glass worth of soda.
I know it.
This is
I
time
go
that
for
I
the
found
food.
out. I
You know
found
they'll
the-
give
I
you the
found the
can if
trick.
you ask for it. Did you know that?
Wow.
Most of them will
I mean,
give you
I
the
knew
can
that,
if
but
you ask for
still.
it.
Why didn't you just start with the can in the first place? Forget the shot
Because
glass.
you know what? I used to say that too, Jay, but we're also very wasteful. And you know how many people are going to get a full can and not even drink the full can?
I will.
Oh, buddy.
No, you will, but
Every
you're not
time I
everybody
hop on the
plane.
plane, I'm double fisting.
Mark, what was you saying, Mark, about the movie?
About the what?
The movie.
You
What was
froze.
you saying?
You were
Oh,
saying
froze.
movie
I froze.
Airplane.
No, I'm saying it's just a good movie, just a good airline, a good spoof movie is all it is. It's about airline travel and things like that, and disaster movies. I think one thing, I don't know if I'm jumping in here, but if you ask flight attendants what one of their pet peeves is, it doesn't really make them mad, but they ponder this one, and that is when the plane lands and the seatbelt sign. First off, some people are so eager to take the seatbelt sign off, and then when the plane lands, the people that stand up right away.
Yeah, I hate that too.
Uh,
It's like, bitch, it's not even your turn yet. There's like 10 or 20 people in front of you. Like, why
Yeah.
are you getting up?
I don't know. The only thing I can say is that some people are just tired of sitting, and so the standing up just relieves that. But
They rude. That's what it is.
well, I don't know.
no. Well,
If
it's
the
kind
person
of all
behind
of
me
it.
stand up, it doesn't bother me. It's just I
No,
don't wonder why they do it as all.
It's kind of all of it, Mark. You have the people who are just standing up because, especially on a long flight, you're flying cross country. You have the people who are, for some reason, in a rush to get the bags claim, as if we're all not going to get there at the same time.
Right.
I do understand the people who are so eager because they're late to get to their connecting flight. But normally, they'll announce, "Hey, if you have a connecting flight, if this is your final destination, please stay." And some airlines will do that. But you have those people who are so in a hurry to cut everybody off. And then you see them in baggage claim, and it's like, you're right here, buddy, waiting on your bags. Good
Well,
job.
it's like somebody zooms by you in traffic, then you wind up at the same red light. But another thing that another pet peeve of airline employees, especially the people on the plane, is the people that, now sometimes they can't help this, but the people that talk about tight connection times. I mean, if you schedule a connection time with only 30, 45 minutes or less than an
That's your
hour,
fault.
Yeah, I mean, but now sometimes you don't have a choice. I realize that, and sometimes the plane lands late,
Well, you have
very
a
late.
choice. You just don't want to pay the price.
Right. Um, but but then people, yeah, I got to get them. I got a tight connection time and so forth, and
Mhm.
they schedule a connecting flight that leaves 45 minutes later, and there are 3 or 4 more flights that day that leave later. So and always schedule plenty of connection time if you can, if you have a choice.
I've seen that when I
Never-
had to fly to California. I'll see one that's like connecting in Dallas, and that's it. And then I'll see a flight that has like 3 to 4 connections. I'm like, why put yourself through that?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I can't stand the layovers, I don't like that, It's
Well,
like,
but it also depends on the airport because some airport, most of them are dreadful and they're all about the same. But I think it's Philadelphia I think has the only legal seafood I've seen in an airport, and I don't mind laying over there. I love some legal
No,
seafood.
no, because there's a Papados in the Dallas airport, which is a very famous restaurant that I went to, popular restaurant that I went to in Texas and San Antonio. And I know there's some that have red lobsters, but you know what? If you're have a long the long layovers never bother me because once I see 5-hour layover, now the airport again does matter because if I got a 5-hour layover in a big airport, that's just where I plan to go eat. All right, I
Yeah.
know I'm going to be at this restaurant. I'm going to have a couple drinks and I'm going to have me a good meal
Yep.
and
Yeah,
be
I
good
don't
to
mind
go.
those.
well, you seen any of them that's got some trout and catfish and trout?
The
Hell
Mississippi,
no.
no,
Thank goodness.
fish and trout.
I like that stuff.
Well,
Well,
yeah, I
listen,
mean, but
I'm a country girl.
you got to watch what you eat if you're going to be on the next plane for another 3 hours because that's what
Yeah.
That's
your
true.
what's his name? Tim Stevenson said. You're going to be the one
For
on
the one
on the plane
specific
No
holding your
dairy,
stomach.
sure.
Right. For the one specific reason that Lisette had to bring up the trout and bring in a country girl. Do you bring food with you to the movie theater? I just gotta ask real quick.
I do.
She
I
brings
be trying
collard
to sneak
greens
in
and neck
sometimes.
bones.
Collard greens, fried chicken, mashed potatoes,
No, Jay.
hot sauce.
No, Jay.
Who told you?
She opened up her Tupperware at the movie theater. She got collard greens and oxtails. Henry's eating tempura and squid. Like, what is going on?
Oh, you have no idea. I have done it before, but most of the time it's more alcohol than food, though. But yeah,
Hey, so I know we passed all the way and got into the airport, so we skipped a lot of the TSA stuff. We were trying to go in order, but conversations happen fluid.
Mhm.
So
TSA.
in the airport employees don't annoy me as much as the flyers, and I hate people who act like it's the first time they've ever flown. Right. Like, first of all, I know it's not the first time because you got a tape on your bag that you forgot to take off. Okay. And they get to the TSA line and they act like they've never flown before.
your
What they
shoes,
do?
your belt.
You only
Empty
got
your
to fly
pocket.
one time in this age to learn what to do at the security line. Take your damn laptop out unless they tell you to. You know you're going to take your shoes off. You know you're going to take your belt off. You know you're going to empty all your pockets. Like there's these standard things that you already know, and yet you've got 5 people in front of you acting like it's the first time they ever flew, and it's annoying.
Well, look, have you ever
Yeah.
seen anyone take their shoes off and they had smelly feet?
I don't get that close.
Well, I
so-
mean, yeah, okay. I mean, whoa,
It's not the
how close
proximity
are
that
you
matters,
getting?
Mark. If your feet stink and I can smell them all the way across the room, I'm gonna need for you to get something. I'm gonna need for somebody to pass this man some cologne. There is no reason your feet should smell that bad.
I don't know. I know. I don't,
Million
and that's
feet don't
that's
melt.
okay. That's another reason to have pre-check. To have TSA pre-check. You don't take your shoes off. You don't take your belt off. You take your jacket off.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
That
Yeah,
still
free check.
doesn't help the people who aren't in TSA check that are having their lives made miserable by people acting like they've never flown before. Okay. Oh,
Question. Do any of you know why we can't bring like a bottle of water? You know how they always make you empty or toss
you
away
can't
the water
bring.
bottle?
Well, there's 2 reasons. One is you can't bring food and water because they want to sell it to you. That's the cynical number one. And number 2 is, you know how much we'd have to. That's going to slow it up. We got to check all those liquids. Can you imagine? Look at the
Okay,
age
you're
we're
right.
in, where
There,
people
it was
put a
Henry.
bomb in their shoe.
John, you help me out with my memory here because there was an attempted terrorist attack some years back
Mm-hmm.
in which the terrorist tried to use, was it toothpaste?
Yeah.
A tube of toothpaste,
They've done
and that's
everything.
the reason. That's the reason for the liquid.
Yeah,
You can take food. You can
Really?
take food through TSA,
yeah.
but I think this was the one, John, in the Nigerian kid that was going to Detroit
Mm-hmm.
that had a tube of toothpaste.
Yeah, I got to
So
read
that's
from
the
it
reason for the
myself, but
liquid.
I know the gist of what you're talking about. But Henry, every liquid would have to be tested.
Yeah.
Who wants?
It has to
go
be a
through
certain measurement of liquid, or else they can't let you pass without testing it. And if it's over a certain amount, they can only let you take so many. Because we had bottles of water, and they only let us take like 2 or 3, and they threw the rest of them out.
Yeah.
But they
Like
took
three-
my
three and a
mom's
half
hair
ounces.
products. Right.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
TSA people took my mom's hair products, and she was like, "Yeah, I can't
That's
let
right.
you
You
take
can't be
this."
bringing all that flammable stuff on the. Like for instance, the
Right.
e-cigarettes. People try to hide them in their. They don't. They try to hide them in their carry-on. The airports don't care about your e-cigarettes no more. Even if the THC ones, they don't care. They just want you to put it in your
Yeah, they don't.
carry-on because they can explode under the plane because of the pressure. So it's like stop trying to
Wow.
hide your marijuana e-cigarettes by putting them in your under the plane and just put them in your dang carry-on. They do not care. They
Interesting.
don't.
True story. What's
Ooh.
that thing called? My friend came back from what's the Macau? Wait, not Macau, Peru, and he actually smuggled cocoa leaves back from Peru over here.
What? Well, why? Wait, is this out of the limit of? Like, when did this happen? Because you about to.
Henry, why are you
No.
snitching?
No. He only because over there, Peru, right? They actually give you cocoa leaf so you can chew it when you climb up the different altitude,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like
Wow.
go see the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they will give it to you in a tea bag kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing, and then
You know how much
Keone
on it,
totally
drink it.
believes everything you're saying right now.
You know how
Interesting.
much stuff they give you in Austria that you can't just bring back on the plane, Henry? That's not an excuse.
No, so hold on. So what I was trying to say is that of course the dog they reacted to the cocoa leaf, but my friend told them no, it's the THC, and then they were looking at
Listen,
nah, but
listen,
they still went
listen.
through with it.
Please tell Henry that he's supposed to say, "I know a guy who had a friend." You're never supposed to say my friend.
My
That is
cousin's
so funny.
uncle's niece's nephew's baby mama's cousin's brother.
I don't want to be Henry's friend right now. I'm going to tell everything.
Well,
I
look
mean,
here.
you're not his friend, you're his producer.
What has been one of your scariest moments on a flight? I mean, what a scary moment on a flight.
I'm gonna go last because I've talked a lot.
What about you,
I mean,
Alita?
for me, go ahead. Oh, she here.
Alita,
She's
can
here.
you pull it
We
off?
always try it when she pops in, but I think this episode she's just gonna look pretty the whole episode.
Okay. Go ahead, Henry.
Wait, she's about to talk. No, go ahead. You were about to say something, Lee. Let's see if
Yeah.
we can hear you. Oh, we just had one at Fort Lauderdale not too long ago. There was a guy there with a gun. I don't think he was inside. I think he was outside though. But
Yeah,
that's a fear. Mhm.
Somebody flew over the cuckoo nest.
That's public. That's just a public place. So
My fear, since I said I'll be quiet, but everybody's taking forever. It's like George Carlin said. I have the same fear. I don't have a fear of flying. I have a fear of flying and then suddenly not flying. And even though I know airplanes don't crash nearly as much as our imagination think, it's actually your chances of dying driving your car are like what was it, 9 good billion times greater than a plane. I have a fear of flying. I've always had a fear of flying, but yet I fly about 10 times a year. So it's just something I deal with. What I have to do is I always pick the earliest flight possible, the first flight going out. I stay up
Always.
all.
Why?
I'm
Why?
telling you. I'm telling
Oh,
you why.
okay.
All right, I can answer that, John, about why. All right, because the later in the day you wait to catch a flight, the more things that could have gone wrong that day. All right, and that's why it's worse to fly at say 6, 7, 8 p.m. than it is early morning, because throughout the day, delays happen,
Things
planes
happen.
get delayed.
Yeah.
And that's why you see people running around the airport at 9 and 10 at night, is because they've had problems like that. That it's just a chain reaction day after day. So any airport employee will tell you, the earlier you book your flight, the better off you are, the more likely you are to avoid problems like that.
And the earlier ones are oftentimes cheaper. But that's not why
Yeah.
I do it. I stay up all night and take the earliest flight because by the time I sit in my chair, I'm so tired, I go to sleep. And I sleep through most of my flights. Now, some people used to tell me to take something to go to sleep, but I don't like taking stuff that makes you go to sleep when I'm not sleepy. So I like naturally being tired and sleepy. That's why I do it. But Mark is exactly right. That's more chances for something to malfunction and go wrong with the plane. Then it's got to sit there at the next airport. And that's just the law of things.
And it happens every day. Just a chain reaction occurs
Right.
every day somewhere.
It
You know, I
does.
never thought about it that
Keone's
way. Huh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Keone's gonna call me an asshole for this one, but this is just a superstition of mine.
There's
Like
no
Mark
snakes
said,
on a plane, Jay. It's a movie. There's no snakes on a plane.
I'm not talking about that. Now let me finish and stop interrupting. But no, he is right. The later you wait, the longer it gives a chance for something to go wrong. That Final Destination thing to where he got them all off the plane and it took
Oh
off
my
and it
God.
exploded. I could not have been there.
Wow.
I'd have looked out the window and I'd have been like, oh my God, that could have been us.
Why everything to you, your whole fear of flying revolves around movies.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you ever taken a flight and it was delayed, and the flight that you were supposed to have gotten on for some other reason or something crashed? Have anybody ever experienced that?
No? When was the last time that a plane crashed? What's
Wow,
like
that's
5 years
some Final Destination shit.
Going on, Final Destination.
Okay, you see?
What is going on right now?
I thought
No,
she
you know
was
what?
going to say, have you ever taken a flight that was delayed, and the later flight wound up taking off earlier than your flight? And that's happened.
Yes, I was gonna say that has happened. Like my flight one time was supposed to get into RDU at 10:30, and I had to take another flight, and it got here at 9:15. Just because of the way it was scheduled. So
Well, you
that
ever
is-
get that
Okay.
jet lag time zone type thing? You know, you get to the place that, wait a minute now. Wow. You know,
So,
you
I
get
have
spaced out.
I have a question for everybody.
Okay.
Jay brought it up, right? So let's say today you guys are in the plane, just like the movie, right? Final Destination. Some guy goes apeshit crazy, be like, "Hey, get off the fucking plane, gonna bro." Will you guys get off the plane, or will you guys just be thinking, that's a crazy guy, and that's not gonna happen?
Wow.
That's
That's a
crazy,
good
guy.
question.
Well, I'm getting off. Well, first of all, I can't get off the plane until they come and take us off the plane. So if they come and take us off the plane, I'm getting off the plane because I don't need to find out if that guy was just crazy or if it's actually going to happen. You only live once. I don't need to take my chances.
I'm
I'll
getting
get
off the plane.
But I'm not just getting up and walking off the plane. You can't do that anyway.
You can.
That's a good question.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Right.
Yeah, you can. You
After
can.
you
You
get
can.
on
You
the
can
plane,
raise
no.
your hand. You'd be like, "Hey,
Hey,
No,
I
no,
have
no.
to
That's
be off."
different
the
than what
plane.
you were
The
saying.
only
I'm
way you
saying
get
you
off
can't
is if
just
they
get
put
up
you
and get
off.
off. Yeah, you can't just
Once the
get
door
up.
is
and say,
closed,
"I'm
it's
out."
closed.
Yeah,
Wow.
you gotta.
Yeah, I mean before close, of course. But then even before it's not closed, if you start throwing fish or whatnot, as long as the plane is grounded, right? They can open the door and whatnot. Yeah, they can kind of kick you off.
What the
I mean,
hell
not
is
like literally, but
Okay, me and Mark have legitimate reasons. You, Lisette, and Jay are coming up. What if a cow falls out of the sky and lands on the wing? Like, what are all these things y'all are coming up with?
I mean, I've been waiting to give this reason. Have you ever had to sit in a plane? Like the chair, it is uncomfortable. I can't sit down and fall asleep and not have my feet propped up on something. That is uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a hard time sleeping on planes. I got to be real tired.
That's why I do that thing at night. But also, depending on where you just said Spirit. Some of these airlines, the space is getting smaller and smaller. They're trying to cram as many people in there as possible. That's why I've got to get that exit door seat. That's me all day.
Yep.
That is me.
But you're also tall, so there's that as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And you know, it really depends on where I'm now. The one thing we haven't said is where you flying to matters. If I'm flying from here to Atlanta, I don't care. Get me on the plane.
Right.
It's over with soon.
I can stand up that long.
Yeah.
If I need to.
But if I'm flying, when I've got to fly to California, that's when I'm going to put in a little extra money to get a little better seating and all that stuff. So it really depends on where I'm going.
Or if you fly transatlantic across the Atlantic, that's
Anybody
why
here
those.
Flown first class? What's that like? I want to try that.
Wait, Alita, we got to get Alita when she's not freezing. Go, Alita, go.
Go for it, girl.
Well, there it was.
Yes.
Yeah, you get radiation from potatoes. You get radiation from anything, from everything.
Microwave.
You get radiation from your silverware. Like at this point. Alita, it's safe to bet that everything around you is giving you radiation.
Yeah.
Including these computers.
Food is giving
Your
you
phone.
radiation.
Your phone is giving you radiation.
Don't you start
look, in fact, during the height of the C word, 2020, 2021, all right, during the height of that, P word to C word.
COVID.
Oh, the panorama.
Yeah. The airplane was one of the safest places you could be because of where the air circulates. Yeah, people were not allowed to fly and all this good stuff, but you were safer aboard an airplane than you were in most other places because where the air circulates.
I enjoyed that.
But yeah, we do what people are phobic about flying and so forth. Now you weren't safe in the terminal, all right, but aboard the plane, you're relatively safe.
Yeah, you were during the panorama. I know the air industry didn't love it, but I loved having 9 people on my plane. I was laying out in the whole row.
On top of that, during the Panera, didn't the plane ticket price go down?
The Panera.
Oh yeah. And you had those first class seats, Jay, were more affordable and more plentiful too. I mean, it's one of the few times I flew first class from RDU to Cancun. So yeah, it was nice.
I want to see if Lisette
I still want to know
this.
what first class is like.
This is a true story.
It depends.
It depends.
It depends on what kind of plane you're flying. If you're flying the big Boeing 737, the first class goes for like $3-4 grand. That's a whole different story compared to you flying JetBlue or Spirit. I mean, like,
Henry's the guy that sits down and asks for a drink immediately.
Oh, definitely, yes. Because
wait a minute,
I'm just like you. I want to
get
drunk and knock out.
Lisette, what's your worst airplane experience?
Yeah.
Do y'all ever use the restroom on a flight?
I try
not. I use the bathroom sometimes.
Not the liquid stuff.
The bathroom had to come up, so to speak.
Go ahead. Let's hear this story. Clarence, hold your breath.
I got another one instead.
Why can't I freeze up right now?
I got another one instead. Once you get to your destination, that's what I want to get on. You get to your destination and you end up getting to that hotel or whatever, motel, Holiday Inn, wherever you're going, and you try to go to your room and the toilet don't flush. I'm saying like, oh my! I mean, what is going on? Who would ever think that you would go to a hotel room and the toilet don't flush?
Wait.
I mean, a nice hotel at that.
Now, first off, what does it have to do with flying? And second, where do you book your hotels? What, shitshow.com or what?
Well, I don't remember but the toilet would not flush. And so here I go to the counter. I'm saying like, ma'am, downstairs to the, whatever, the desk, my toilet won't flush. She's saying like, I mean, you should have saw her countenance like, oh my God, we're gonna get a bad rating. And then again, you can it's almost like she's saying, you mean I got to send somebody up there to go and flush the brown stuff? And I'm saying like, no, it's not that bad. It just won't, it's nothing that I did that made it not flush. And it did happen, didn't it, baby? There's nothing that I did to make it not flush. It just would not.
Well,
It would
no,
not
you
flush.
can't make that one up. No.
It wouldn't, and the windows was dirty, and the mattress was
Wow, your experience is terrible.
it was jacked up.
Well, how did you book that room? I mean,
I don't. It was a nice. It was supposed to be the name is supposed to be very nice, and I'm saying like, why is the bed? Why is the head of the bed lower than the foot of the bed? I mean, why? What is going on?
you don't book a hotel that's less. I say less than 3 stars. Definitely less than 2 stars.
It's
It
$47
wasn't.
a
Less,
night.
it wasn't. It was
Anyway.
like a 4-star. You
It
know
was
what
a
I'm saying?
motel.
4 or 5 star. And I'm saying like,
Mark, the
Oh,
stars
I
don't
can't
matter.
even-
The
and look,
location of the.
when I go to a hotel, I start with 100. That's the
All right, 'cause
score.
there's
And
some
every time
capital-
something stupid happens, I keep marking it down. Okay, that's going to take 25%. That's going to take 25 points off.
How
of,
much you
know.
want to bet they gave her the one singular room with the busted up sleep number Tempur-Pedic bed?
I
I
can't
don't
with you,
know.
Lisette. I can't.
I don't. So
So
I have
wait,
a. I have,
you're-
it's a different. Wait. What? Wait.
I thought you
okay.
said you had
Let
an
me tell
issue.
you
I
guys
was
this
going to
story.
say we don't have
No,
that much time
let
left
me-
to do your issues, but
Okay, no, let me. Okay, it's a different than a scare or something I'm scared about flying, but it happened in the plane. This is a true story, but and then I will say story first. So there was one time I was flying from I think like either Japan or Taiwan back to LA, and then I'm a little kinky and stupid. Okay, I really am. So I chose
Oh,
I
man.
chose
I'm
the
glad I'm
worst
sitting down when I heard that.
So it's just being kinky. I'd be like, you know what? Fuck it.
Somebody cut his
I'm gonna
mic.
touch myself. I'm gonna touch myself in this restroom right now.
wait,
And then
what?
I just
Somebody
happened to
cut his
pick
mic.
the.
Cut his mic. Cut the mic.
So I'm fucking going now, and then I picked the wrong time because the staff started banging on my door. But we're landing. You need to be back in your seat. Put the seatbelt on. I've got 5 more minutes. I'm almost done.
Ugh.
I don't like Henry.
Yeah.
I don't like Henry.
Have you ever wondered what
There's
happens?
always got to be something. It can't
What-
never be
What
nothing.
happens to your urine and stuff in the toilet when you're in a flight? Does it drop down on people, or
No,
does
I
it go in a hole? Or
No, I
Why-
don't.
No,
worry
there's a
about-
receptacle
Why
on the
are you
side of the
worried?
plane that they have to empty out.
Why are you worried about what? I don't understand.
I was not worrying. I was not
my
worrying.
God. Mark, how would you like to be a total stranger, knowing what you know now, and just sitting down on the plane and knowing what you know now, but you don't know them, and Henry's on your left and Lisette's on your right?
Hey, you're gonna have a good time.
You hit
Uh-uh.
You're gonna have
you
so
hit
much
that
new
button, I
stories.
gotta
After
tell you.
what you just got done saying, Henry, you ain't got no business using that sentence.
I'm hitting that flight attendant button.
well,
Get me off this
Now,
plane.
Lisette, I can take. I mean, it's just she's kind of an eccentric traveler with a hell of a lot of bad luck. Henry, I don't know. There's a whole
Hey,
other
you-
level.
you
from
gotta
there.
roll the
Going on with
dice.
Henry.
We're gonna have a good time.
Says who?
What?
In what
Says who?
context?
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, if you're next to me, yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk about some
No.
random stuff and
Yesterday was a bad day. I had a bad day yesterday.
yes.
Where's it out here?
That's going on in the production behind you. Keep going, people. Keep going.
Oh,
so you know what? Let's get some final thoughts. Let's wrap this on up. What's it's kind of hard to do some final thoughts. This is good, but what are we trying to say here to all these people watching about
Well,
Final
I-
thoughts. Jackson, 2022. Don't sit next to Henry on the plane.
hey, no, I mean, we're gonna have a great time.
No, we not.
Oh, not with that attitude.
My attitude is always here. It just changes who it's projected at.
wow.
I have some final thoughts. I have one final thought. I'm gonna piggyback on what Jay just said. I think Henry should be on a no-fly list for one thing. And the other thing would be, on a more serious note, I mean, traveling in any form has its discomforts, whether you're traveling by car or by ship or by plane. But I love to travel. I love to. I think it broadens us. It's an education you can't get from books. And I'll go ahead and just toot my own horn here, watch John's eyes roll because he's heard this before. But I visited all 50 states and about 35 foreign countries.
You have.
And well, you know, it takes a long time, kiddo. I mean, it took a while to get there. And a little bit of trivia for you. I won't make you guess, but the least visited state in the United States is North Dakota, because it's not even a flyover state. There are no big cities there. So why? There are no big cities there. There are not many natural attractions. The weather is absolutely awful in the wintertime. And it's just kind of, but it has. I think my point is everything kind of has its own beauty, including North Dakota, including the wheat fields of Kansas and all that. And I mean, European countries. I haven't had the pleasure of visiting Asian countries yet, unless you count Israel. But you try to gain or benefit from any place you visit, even places that aren't the picture perfect, click moments. Interacting with people from different cultures and different places is one of the rewards of travel. And flying is just an aggravation you have to go through to get to that point.
Interesting. Alita? Cool. Jay, did you go? Take your time now. Hurry up. Take your time. Hurry up.
I gave that little spoof at the beginning, but I'll go ahead and give another one. First, I'm spending the extra money to make sure that I get first class so I don't have to deal with people like Henry. But on top of that, the screaming baby that cannot be consoled because the air pressure has popped their ears. Yeah, I refuse to have to deal with that. That's one of the most annoying things ever, but I do understand it. Simultaneously, though, the discomfort, can't get over it. If I can't put my legs up, I'm not going to be a happy camper.
He means that in all aspects of his life. Okay, sorry.
No, it's good. I mean, this is getting good. I kind of hate to cut it off.
Well, we're not going to cut it off because in the spirit of Lisette's boo-boo story, we got a little something we're going to show. It's a clip from Jared from the Tractor about the same exact thing, kind of, sort of what she was talking about. Here we go.
Yesterday was a bad day. I had a bad day yesterday. I flew into the Lafayette airport, and the airport's got to do something about their bathrooms, man. I mean, it was rough. Right when I was about to get off the plane, I felt the strong need to dookie. I had to go to the bathroom. I had to dookie. And when a man my size is in that position when they got a dookie bag, it's going to be a lot of pressure and volume coming out. And I was in trouble, and it was right at the edge. So I had to lock up and tighten up and start running with that short step, trying to make it to the escalator to get down to go to the bathroom. When I get to the top of the escalator, I have to stop. I have to tighten up. So I'm riding down the escalator, and I'm in a bind. I was in a bind, and I was hoping and praying for a bubble. Y'all know what I'm talking about, that feeling where, and that gives you some relief. The only problem about the elusive and magical bubble is that it's temporary. You can hit a bubble, and it lasts for 4 hours. But you hit a bubble, and it only lasts for 2 seconds. So when I was about 7/8 down the escalator, I got the bubble. It did. So I knew I got a shot. I got to go. So I take off running, and I am running to the bathroom. I look like O.J. Simpson. Y'all remember them old commercials when he used to jump over the people with the luggage and stuff? Yeah, I was grabbing. I was getting it. And right when I got to the door of the bathroom, it hit me again. I need another bubble. And I'm just hoping, Lord, I'm leaning on a little round wall with my hand, hoping I can get a bubble. Lord, give me a bubble. I need bubble, just one more bubble. I get a bubble, I can make it to the toilet. And there came my little happy bubble. So I had some, so I run in. I pulled my pants down before I got in the stall. As soon as I got in the stall and I went to sit down, I think I painted that wall wrong. I blew out. I was in trouble. So I'm sitting there kind of catching myself, composing myself, sitting on the stall. Waiting to come out. Wasn't even thinking about it. Waiting for some more to have to come out. And then I hear some women talking. And I'm like, I look through the little crack and I'm like, oh my Lord, I hear women talking, one of them talking about, oh, it's stinking here, they need to clean his face. And I'm like, I don't remember seeing no urinal on the wall when I ran in here. I am in the women's bathroom. Now I'm fitting the kid. I'm on the toilet in the ladies' bathroom. Now I'm trying to sit there, and I realize that they look under the stove, they can see my feet. My feet don't look like women. They're gonna realize they got a man in the bathroom, and I'm fitting to be in trouble. So I tried to move my feet up so they couldn't see them. You know, like the Chinese people where they pick their feet up, it's supposed to be less restricted. It is less restricted. As soon as I picked my feet up, it started again. And I'm trying to be quiet. You ever blew out being quiet? You can't do it when it's quiet. And I'm sitting there, oh my Lord, I'm in trouble. What can I do? What can I do? So I called Chet on the phone to tell him to stand guard by the ladies' bathroom and maybe I could get out. And he told me no. And I'm gonna remember him. I snuck out. But I got out and I made it okay. And I put a $20 bill on the toilet because whenever KeoniProductions had to fix that mess, they deserve a tip. But y'all gotta do something about that airport bathroom. Y'all need to share this video so that they can do something and put big signs on the front of the toilet, you know, on the door so you wouldn't go to the wrong bathroom. And I'm sorry. Y'all have a good day until we talk again.
Same to you.
That reminds me of Lisette's
Wow.
story when she went in the men's bathroom.
I'm telling you.
Oh my
And
God!
I can relate to what he's talking about. I can tell you that.
We're just gonna do an episode one day, and the title of the episode is gonna be "Things That Happened to Lisette." Mark,
Can
you
we
can't
talk
miss
about the
that
fact
one.
that the sound effects that he was up there
Oh
making
my
reminds
God,
me of when
y'all
you go to the
crazy.
auto parts store and try to describe what's wrong with your car?
Oh my God! Well, that's my my input on final thoughts. So there you go. There's my final thoughts.
All right. Is Henry around?
No, Henry's gone.
I'm
He's
here.
drunk and his screen is black.
No telling what he is
my
doing off
screen is
camera.
black.
Yes.
Nah, you will
So,
never know.
We can just
All
carry
right.
on without old Henry.
All right, then. Well, you know what? I would say, they say
Wait, you guys can
flying
hear me, right?
is the best way to go, which I kind of like it, but
No, train
I
car.
personally like driving,
We
and
hope you enjoyed the show.
I just, I think maybe, try to use the bathroom. Henry, is that you?
No,
Yes,
don't worry
that's
about it.
me.
Keep
I'm
going.
I'm
Get
here.
Henry.
No,
Get
you
Henry.
can. Oh no, I'm sorry. I will go after. Sorry.
I'm just laughing. You said flying is the best way to go, and I just heard that as dying, and I just totally missed
Nah.
what you.
I think the best way to go would to leave our audience with this little snippet of information. Our pilot just graduated from Flight Community College after a 2-year-long suspension.
No.